You seen it with them that not doing it.
Mayor, whenever you're ready. Good evening. It is 6:30. Thursday, November 20th, 2025. We now call to order the historic town of Eatonville Community Redevelopment Agency. Ms. King, roll call, please. Director Williams.
Present.
Director Creighton. Present. Director Randolph.
Yes.
Director Mack.
Here.
Director Daniels is not here. Vice Chair Washington. Chair Gar. Here. Please, you have our panel. Okay. Please stand for a moment of silence followed by the pledge of allegiance. The pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There are no presentations, right?
Yep.
So we're ready for citizen participation. We have one, Angela Johnson.
Good evening, Chair, Executive Director, Board members, residents. Being an involved resident, I would really like it if, and I'm quite in this Randolph, or Director Randolph asked the same question about the documents being available. Whether you printed them tonight or print them tomorrow, it's the same printed cost. So I think that it really is a disservice for people, especially when ones want to take notes. So if you have them available and you present it from them, they should be available for the public as well as for the directors. Mr. Johnson, in your comments, you mentioned that you were contracting with a part-time general contractor, if I heard you correctly. Are the members of the board familiar with this contract? If not, can you provide details on that tonight, and what is that contract for? What is the current status of the bid / the award to develop the 4 parcels on West Street? Was a builder selected? Regarding the Old Club Eden, you were discussing either potentially purchasing or leasing. If the CRA leases that property and then puts in $1 million of leasehold improvements, what contractual terms, if you will, or if you can tonight, disclose as far as if the builder or if the owner could then sell it and then have the profit from that. And then, Mr. Johnson, can you expand on your presentation? You talked about an African American History Center project. Can you expand on that as well? And then lastly, you mentioned about a lease for frontage with the Chamber of Commerce. Can you expand on that as well? And when you are looking at whatever spacing, have we taken into consideration how the street widening project, whenever it does happen along Kennedy, will impact, if any, whatever parcel you're looking at? What is the purpose of leasing? How are you going to use it? So if you can expand on all of those things, please. Thank you.
Thank you. That was the last one. All right, the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Is there a motion? A move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. We're ready for discussion.
That's just another reminder. I mentioned it in the workshop that if everybody can kind of think about 2026 and give me their priorities, so I can come out and right presentation to direction that the administration and board are gonna go from here. But that's the only conversation. It's not asking you to do it. It's sending the email, whatever they're gonna see for 2026.
We did have questions from the floor. Did you want to address any of the questions?
I have concerns. This is a discussion period, right?
Well, she's getting ready to go to the board.
Yes, did you have a question regarding?
I was trying to find the cover sheet for the meeting tonight. It's the 7:30 meeting.
6:30, that was it.
Where is it?
You looking for the agenda or the cover?
The agenda.
Agenda.
Yeah, she put the new agenda.
No, nothing.
You can have it.
Okay, so we're in the discussion period right now, right?
Did-
On the consent agenda, what are you doing?
We're done, we're on number 4. And
Okay, I'm sorry.
so you're, at this point,
Numbers.
Director.
Yeah, that's fine.
Number 7.
We're done with presentations, number 4.
Go ahead, number 7. Board discussion directives priorities for 2026.
Well, it says-
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
All right, so we're done with then we're ready for reports.
Oh, wait 1 second, I'm sorry. It's my mistake. The discussion. I really would like, since this is a discussion period and we really don't have anything that we're voting on tonight, is that correct? Okay. I really would like, those questions that Mrs. Johnson had mentioned. I really would like to see if we can answer those questions. Because have we hired a contractor?
You were told at the last meeting, we were gonna hire a project manager. And nobody had any opposition to doing so. So we've already gone through that process and hired, advertised through HR and did everything. Yeah.
Okay, so we went through the HR process
Yes, sir.
for the contractor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, I'm kind of going backwards a little bit here. But why would we need a contract, a project
Bids,
manager?
when we put it out for bid, bids came in so astronomical, it made doing a project not feasible at all.
You know, why would we need to have a contractor? For a project contractor,
Project manager.
a project manager?
So
What's the
oversee-
purpose of it?
To oversee the daily activities and pull the permits. He's a licensed GC and roofing contractor.
You licensed GC?
Yes, he is.
Okay,
HR has his information. She can provide it to you.
yeah, okay. I'll get more information on that a little later. Now the chamber, what project is the chamber?
They have not provided me that proposal. That's why I'm not ready prepared to talk about that.
Okay, so what did they
There
do?
was a conversation.
Did they submit anything in writing
They
for
have,
a project?
they have not provided me anything. We only had a verbal discussion.
Okay. All right,
That's why, just so you know, that's why it says December 19th. Because she's supposed to have it to me before for that.
okay. All right, you can proceed. Thank you.
All right, there being any more questions, we're in for staff reports.
Yeah, 2 things. First, yesterday we were approached by a nonprofit group, headed up by Monique Nichols and Pat Nix to do a giveaway. And I know Ms. Randolph has her thing she's doing on Monday. They want to do one on Tuesday. And it's going to be, in talking to the CAO, we're going to do it over at the swimming pool area. They're giving out some health bags and not just food and gift cards and some other stuff. But it's going to be over at the swimming pool, and it's only from 3 to 6. So it's only 3 hours that they're going to be doing this.
What organization is it?
I have to get the name of it. I forgot the name they gave. but it's a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
They do it, not only they want to make this an annual thing, not just for Thanksgiving, but also for Christmas. To do Christmas things too. So I'm trying to coordinate that with them for the Christmas on the Boulevard and get them involved with that. And me, Darius, and Mr. Washington and the CEO, we've been communicating to try to purchase. So that event is going on, and also, we were talking about the legislative session. Even if the legislature passed something, it's still gonna take almost 2 years before it happens, because they have to write the rules, and that's a long process. It's not something that happens immediately. So for at least the initial life cycle of the CRA, we're gonna be fine. It's if something happens, which in my opinion, just my opinion, that's gonna be hard pressed for legislators to tell cities, we getting ready to take your money and think they're gonna stay in office. I don't think that's gonna happen. So, I think it's just a bunch of talk and ideas right now. I don't think nothing substantial is gonna happen. Just like it happened with the CR. They did a lot of talking, but when it came down to it, nobody's willing to put cross that threshold. So, it didn't go anywhere. So I don't want us to be thinking that we're gonna lose this whole revenue stream immediately. Because even if they pass something, it still will get a couple of years before it takes effect. Told you about Christmas on Boulevard Partnership. We will be bringing forth the TIF transfer resolution in December, because the board has to you have to approve money going in and out of that trust fund. So before the rebates get happen, that has to happen by this board to authorize. So the agenda for December is going to be very light. Probably some meeting minutes and that resolution dealing with the transfer and those two presentations. So potentially keeping things light for start January off. Keep. That's all I have. Sure.
Attorney. No report. So, Director Williams.
No report.
I don't have a report. I do have a question.
Yes.
Are there any other activities? I know we talked about the tentative date for the groundbreaking. But are there any other activities or calendar days between now and the end of the year for the board? Or for the agency as far as?
Outside of December 3rd, no.
And then Tuesdays giveaway?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Director. Your report. Director Randall.
Okay, I do have some concerns. First of all, thank you all very much for providing whatever information you have here. However, I'm still disappointed on the, whenever we have a meeting, I don't care if it's 1,000 pages. I don't expect you to print 1,000 pages. But we need to have our documents, so that way I can study the documents and be prepared for the meeting. So, again, I expressed this at the last meeting that we need to be better at this. So I'd like to know, what are we going to do to improve those procedures? Because not only getting missing documents or don't having the documents, but also things getting to the board members in a timely manner. Now, the interlocal agreement says that we are supposed to, the way it was set up, that the town clerk does the notification for the meetings and send that out on Mrs. King's schedule when she does this. And if she sends out correspondence and information for the council meeting, and then some weeks she may send it out for the CRA. It started out pretty good, but somewhere along the line, something has fallen back, and I don't know what that is.
I'm kind of at an impasse. You saying that because I talk to Ms. King almost daily, and we got you the was it the PowerPoint? No, what was that we gave you yesterday? We gave
The
them
financials.
the financials yesterday, and that's because and you have to understand, when Mrs. Bradshaw is doing the financials, that's just not her just looking at it and putting it together. It has to be reconciled with finance department. They have to sign off for her to be able to go in the system. So until all those steps happen, you cannot get that document until it's ready. So it was made ready to me, I gave it to her, and it got disseminated. There's a lot going on internally administrative for the town, dealing with getting preparation for the audit and all the other stuff, so it takes priorities. So it's not in my control, it's the system, the way the system is working. So when it's available, you get it, but the packet, like she said, went out a week early, like it was supposed to. So you did get that. The only documents you did not have is the work session document that me and the attorney prepared, because I just approved it and finished it, and he just looked over it today, to be honest with you. But we knew you had been in the board training, so it was just reiterating something that you had already heard.
Yeah, yeah,
So-
that's okay with that.
But the other presentation, I mean, it was just finished today, so that's why it was given to Ms. King today to do this meeting. And it's nothing of substance, things you have not already heard, so I'm kind of impacted. It was things that you had already heard.
Yeah, but I just got these documents yesterday. That's Wednesday. We got
Because that's when it got signed off on by finance to be able to disseminate it to you.
So from the clerk's office, my process is I always send out a complimentary email reminding everyone to submit their agenda items by a specific deadline for the purpose of getting the board packet delivered a week before the scheduled meeting. However, there are times when documents have to be vetted, and like Mr. Johnson said, they may require some additional information in order for a final document to be presented. That does not delay the packet, but it may require you to get information at a later date. And that's what transpired.
Okay, so this bank statement, this is ending October the 31st. Today is the 20th. I'm just saying, I'm looking at the time factor that we have providing these documents when the end of the banking period ended on October the 31st. So what's the hold up with that?
So you have to give the state, she has to do all her portion of it, then it goes to finance. Finance has to do their portion of it, and once they sign off on it, she finalizes the documents. That is not a overnight process. That's not something that happens like that. And it's just to tell you, I mean, she has to sign off on it. Ms. Bradshaw cannot reconcile and sign off on it. So we have to wait to finance, do their portion. And once they do it in the system, I don't know nothing about Edmonds. The process is in Edmonds that they have to go through. And once that's done, we give you the documents when it's ready. Nobody's not trying to give it to you when it's not supposed to, but we have to respect the time and process.
And typically, I'm sorry, if there is an administrative delay, I will indicate that in the email. Sometimes we do have administrative delays, more specifically on the town side, not with the CRA. But keep a line of communication open. We do provide that information in the email.
Okay, I have okay, then I have another concern. We heard any more about Mr. Evans' house? You know, that $5,000 emergency?
I'm waiting on his daughter to provide me the 3 quotes for the electrical upgrade. And she knows what that number is and what number she can't exceed. And she has not provided me that information. Mr. Evans called me and I informed him of the same thing. And so until they provide me documentation, nothing's gonna happen. I did give them the information to reach out to Orange County to get some rehab, go through the rehab process. Whether they did it or not, I cannot tell you. She said she would. He said he wanted it. So that's not our process, it's the county's process.
Okay, another question. The West Street property,
Mhm.
the house that was demolished.
Mhm.
What's going on with that project?
I just walked through that in the workshop, but I'll tell you again, parcel B It's gonna be the first unit, which is lot 8, which is gonna be the first unit that's being built. And we look to try to have permits sometime in December before the holidays and getting started on that project with our project manager.
Yeah, I'm asking that because I just want to verify that we've gone through the process
Yes.
for building those homes, even through the town.
You have to. We can't just go
Okay.
build them. We
And
gotta.
what about the other building on West Street? What about that facility? The
140?
Senior Wellness Center.
Right, we just closed last week on the property, but you had already approved a contract for the Rosa Brito to do the architecture and engineering. And we're in that process now. Monday, I'll be in there cutting holes up in the ceiling so the engineer can go up and look at the truss stuff in about 15, 16 locations throughout the whole entire building. But it's just not things that just happen overnight. There's a whole process to all of this. We did clear up the code violations. Mr. Baruti was told that today, so he can go by. Now, just so everybody will know, we have a difference of opinion. Mr. Baruti said that there are code violations on the property, but they did a lien search and there was nothing there to prevent closing. So I kind of talked to CEO Daniels about that, and we were probably on the same page. If it wasn't recorded, you can't try to put that burden down on us to pay some fines and liens that, because it's not recorded, don't exist.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I was concerned also about the zoning. Do we have the proper zoning for what we want to use
Yeah.
the building
The
for?
property is on R2 and recreational purposes is a permitted use in R2 zoning classification.
Okay, but you want to put medical and all of that other stuff in there. Is it zoned for that?
So when you say medical, it's a
That's what you said,
senior.
medical center.
I never said a senior and wellness center. That's someone comes in and offers services to the seniors as far as blood pressure check, diabetes, the same thing we had at what's the building that was torn down? Healthy Eatonville building, doing something similar to that, but it's specifically for the seniors in recreation.
So it's not like medical, right?
No, it's not like a clinic or anything.
Right.
There may
Yeah.
be some exercise equipment in one of that back room too for the exercise.
Okay, and the update on the West Kennedy property, the old Dixon property?
Yeah, we just got the set of plans from that. So once we get this project started, because our funds are limited, we have to take baby steps. I am talking to a couple lenders about a line of credit. If we do that, it'll come back before this board and authorize it, so we can build them all at one time. I mean, right now we got to take baby steps. So right now we're doing lot B, lot 8, parcel B, because that's already funded and ready to go.
And who's gonna oversee those projects?
The project construction manager.
And you don't think we should send that out on a RF,
We did that already.
you did that already? And what was the results?
The lowest bid came inefficient because they didn't provide none of the documentation. The highest bid was $380,000, which did not make sense at all. So in order to keep our costs down, me and the attorney thought it was best. And that's why I told you guys at the last meeting that this is the route we we're gonna go. And it's only one house, so if it doesn't go well, then we have to revisit. Starting at those high numbers that we were given, we're not acceptable.
Okay, I'd like to have a copy of those, please.
Okay.
Can you send that to me tomorrow?
You want a copy of
The
those?
bids.
Yes,
The
yes,
bids.
ma'am, you got them. Yes, sure.
Tomorrow,
And the score sheets, I'll make sure you have them all.
about Monday.
Okay.
Okay, other than that, that's basically, is all I have for now. Thank you.
One thing, thank you. One thing you did, these tax liens that talk about my other hat, but I'm talking about when we do close on property that's have a lot of liens on it and it's not reported, that's something that's not good on the other side. We definitely need to make sure everything's recorded when we do put liens on these properties. And that's one thing we knew liens on this, I think we thought about that, but it wasn't showing in the closing.
And just to reiterate, so when code enforcement goes out and cites a property and the board says, we're finding you every day for not having it, whatever that number is, and as it grows, he has to go record that in order for it to be enforceable. So when someone comes and says, I want to buy this piece of property, they have to go through the lien search process. And if their liens don't show up, now some things showed up, but that all got cleared up on the seller side, right? But nothing from the town stopped or required any payments. So they need to make sure whatever the board does, that action is being recorded. Now, a long time ago, some code enforcement was doing that. So those things were enforceable because the CRA back in 21 or 22 got a check for $13,000. No, $11,000. Because once that person acquired that property, that lien had to be paid, and since it was through the CRA that was enforced, we got that $11,000. But that still was a process. We had to fill out paperwork and all that stuff to get that money, but we did get it. So it's not as simple as people think. And
It's not that
the
simple.
public record is the catch-all for everything.
It's the product of, when we have people doing their jobs, like you said, has to go down and record these things, so the town don't miss out on funds.
Chip,
So that's what it is.
man, I do need to tell the board about the tax deed sale. We had to recently pay $9,600 because someone never filed in 22. They never filed the exemption form that's required in order so you can be tax exempt. So that property was going up for sale, which is the Tommy Dixon property, to be honest with you, was going up for sale December 11th. Coming up, and we had not paid that $9,000. We went on that property at all. December 11th for to come up, and it is there were documents served, there was mailed, everything, and I got the last couple of ones off the door because the sheriff just put them on the door and left it up there. But it was going back to a time where it needed to be done. So it's important that when we buy property, anybody acquires property, that they make sure they file the exemption, whether it's on the town side or on that piece of property. You have to file that paperwork, or you're gonna be getting assessed and you have to pay. We just did it on 119, 140, and 225. So all our properties now are covered. So we won't have that problem.
Yeah, that's one of the things too that, I want to speak of that. We definitely, when we do get these properties, we need to file proper paperwork and keep up with it. Like you said, well, that property went off the tax roll, so we make money, the town made money off that property. So that's the best thing for it, but that's all I have to say.
The only thing I have to say is I did speak with Nicole Oreo regarding the rebuild together. And at the time that she responded, she had not received a formal word from them. However, I was at a meeting and I was sitting at the table with someone from Winter Garden. And she mentioned that Rebuild Together was getting ready to renovate 9 properties in the city of Winter Garden. And that the city was giving them $50,000 to do it. And I just thought that the number 9 was peculiar.
Yes.
So, but I just wanted to let you know, and that's one big point.
So we need to get 50,000?
No.
$50,000 to rebuild together.
Put it to start.
I don't know.
Get these people out back, we can at least do 5 houses with this.
With that being said, no other comments? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I have one comment.
Yes.
Straight up. On the bank statement, it has interest paid to date, like 21,000. What is that? Interest on,
We're in an e-treasury account and we collect annually a good chunk of money off that account.
okay, now, when we went to the training, I believe there's some stipulation, if you're drawing interest on an account, how those funds are supposed to be used or allocated. I mean, do you all remember anything about that?
Is it?
Training?
I think I know what you making reference to, but that is a e-treasury account. That's coming straight from the Department of Treasury interest. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about an interest-bearing account.
Can you look into that, attorney, please, to make sure that
Not
we're
an
not
interest-bearing.
doing anything wrong?
But I
You
mean,
know,
what would we,
It's been that way,
Correct.
yes.
so what you recommend?
no, I'm just trying to find out whether or not these funds are these funds supposed to be utilized for something else, because it's interest paid on,
Our deposit.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. It was something about the interest. I wasn't too sure.
TD Bank and the accounts originally set up are very aware of the statutory limitations. And that's why they put us in a e-treasury account system. So it would not be in violation of the law.
I'm glad I looked at number too, and I'm glad that number's there because we was getting almost
We
nothing.
wasn't getting money for a long time.
And I was there, we got $1 million in some trust, whatever. How much money make on interest?
So
It was like nothing. I was
they
like,
would
what?
have it in that
I
e-treasury.
think it was $300, something like that.
Yeah, so small.
So small amount. I see, I mean, I was like $300. So when I saw that number there, I'm like, okay, great, we in a better account.
All right, we'll have the attorney look into it. Thank you.
I did have one more thing. Is it possible that we can just get electronic copies
Electronic copy of.
instead of, for those that want to print, just like we do on the town side?
Yeah.
Those that want printing it, because I don't need a printed.
Typically, I do just give it out electronically and just give it to Randolph and Washington because they request for physical copy.
Okay,
The reason why we gave it to you today because of some
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
more information.
All right,
But yeah, that would be the practice.
all right, so we did get a motion to adjourn earlier. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All. Last time I ignored him. I said, oh, maybe not anymore. Yes, Vice Mayor.
I had some hard copy because I can't see that computer screen that much.
Yeah, oh, that's fine.
I know. Did in second, I know you moved.
I.
All opposed, none.
Oh, how much is this getting? 10? Yeah.
Okay. My other.
Right.